All right, so this time we're going to talk about the parent offspring conflict. And so what we're seeing here is that when you have children, you typically only have 50% of the relatedness. And by only having 50%, there's going to become a time where it is, when you do your cost benefit equations, it might be time to dump the kid and have more offspring. So that is really the question: is when does it make more sense to continue to care for the children you have, or to dump and run? And so they've done these maximum fitness with where we're both getting benefits and with the least amount of cost, and eventually there's a point where you jump ship. And so to make this work, offspring should provide an on a signal, and that signal for birds is the open gaping mouth. Parent flies in and you see all these mouths to feed. It really is kind of what is the parent looking for? I have one bug, I got 5 mouths. What am I striving to do? And this is why the on a signal is the most important, because I need to know which one is most likely to survive. They need to be pretty honest about their needs, especially when the offspring's condition can vary greatly. And I obviously cut that off. So parents need more information than maybe the offspring are willing to give. So what they came down to is they're looking for health, and one of the things was color. And so what they did is they actually painted the inside of it sounds pretty bad, but painted the insides of the mouth in this reddish tone, which might indicate blood flow or health. They ended up getting a lot more feedings than other color. They use yellow, and then they use water to kind of deflect the color or reflect the color. And it really came down to this signal. There was signals. There are things that the parents are looking for. Although these signals can be costly, it might attract predators, especially with noise. And if you're jumping around and calling and screaming, that burns energy. So if you're doing that very loudly and very energetic, and you're not the one picked, you're actually making it worse. So in the American robin, is a migratory bird that we have here. They beg most vigorously if they think they're going to get fed. If the parents come, they kind of make a half-ass effort. Then they see food, and then they have, I guess, determine what are the brothers and sisters doing. If you are really, really hungry, you're going to beg more. It's just like anything else, and you've done this. And if you're hungry, there's food, and you're doing family style. If you're not that hungry, you may not care that much. Hey, you guys go. I'll take whatever's left. You haven't eaten for a couple of days. You're stabbing your family with forks. And nestlings respond to increased begging intensity by they're screaming, I'm screaming. And so what they found is they kind of egg each other on, and that's all good. Conclusion here is we think it's evolved. We think that this behavior has evolved over time. And so what we're seeing is more and more begging behavior. But there isn't just because you're louder, you're going to get the food. It's just relative to, there's no, hey, if you can get to this decibel, or if you can make this much movement, you're going to get food. It's really relative to the other offspring. And no matter what your parents tell you, they have a favorite. So anyway, should we put some limit on begging intensity? And probably the answer is yes, because you can attract attention from predators. And obviously you're also, by doing all the work, you are losing some of that intensity. What we have found is brood parasites, like a cowbird here, the cuckoos, when they go into a nest, they'll lay their eggs inside there. What we have found that typically nestling birds have responded over evolutionary time to a reduction in average relatedness among nestmates. They really are selfish and begging louder, but they do it with the nestmates that they are related to. It turns out the cowbirds have figured out that you have to be more aggressive, and they tend to be larger, so they tend to win out, and so that is definitely what you want. Okay, looking at egrets, we talked about egrets killing each other. What we didn't talk about is typically what egrets do is something called asynchronous brood. And asynchronous, again, you're hearing the term now with classes, but it means that you don't have the kids all at the same time. They're usually a couple of days apart. And what that means then is your babies are different sizes. And so this tends to be good because on limited food sources, what happens is the parents start to ignore the smaller one. They're like, hey, we're not going to be able to raise both. We'll put the energy into the larger one. And often the larger one will kill the smaller one to even make it different. And what they found is that that's the case. That is the best scenario for efficiency for the parents, is to have asynchronous. And what they've done is then they've done it where they were synchronous and made the young all the same exact size, and parental efficiency really dropped. Now you have two mouths to feed. It's hard to decide who. And then the other one was they really spread them out to big and small. And although that was better than them all being the same size, it wasn't as efficient at having this window of just slightly different sizes. And I love this picture. My office mate, that's his two sons. And I always used to joke with them. The little one is Evan, and the older one is Noah. And this picture that's been hanging in our office. And I said, this is sibling aggression right here. Noah's right sitting there, and oh yeah, this is my baby brother with his hand on his head. But when Tim's not looking, that hand slides right over the mouth. And boom, I get all the toys. So go Noah. No, but anyway, that is the recording.